Wilson, I am your father. Welcome to the dark side of the Force. Welcome to a dark side of tennis spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Today, I will be telling you why the Wilson Clash is the top racket in tennis today. Stay tuned.
People have said that when you pick up this racket, it's the dark side. They've been telling me this for a year now. So you've gone to the dark side. So I personally have. I play with this racket, but I play with the tour version, the pro version, whatever you want to call it. When people say I play with the Clash, they usually mean they play with the Clash 100, which is this model right here. And this is the #1 selling racket in the nation, probably for the last 9 months now. So why is this racket so popular? Well, it's a standard 100 square inch head, just like a lot of the rackets we have, a lot of the rackets that are made today. 27 inches long, just like pretty much every racket out there. 10.4 ounces. So that's a good medium weight for both men and women. If you're a beginner, you can use this racket. If you're a 3.5, 4.0, I see a lot of 3.5s, 4.0s using this racket. They love this racket. If you're a 4.5, you can probably still use this racket too. Anything over that, you probably go to like a Clash 98. This probably would not be your racket. Now, what makes this racket different than any other racket made today? Well, it's the technology. The whole racket is flexible. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? I'm going to take a pure drive up here and show you. So, if you're at a tennis shop, try the same test. So what I want to do is press down right here, right? That's pretty soft, right? Now, I'm going to take the Clash. That's real soft. Look at that bouncing back, right? So the way they sheeted out this racket is unlike anything else out there. So it's the way the racket or the graphite is sheeted, like before they mold it, before they bend it into a racket. The way it's done is different. All rackets prior to this racket was done pretty much one or two ways, like a 3D, a 4D braid. You know, like you braid your hair, like that, right? I don't know how they did it. It's top secret. The inside story is that they entered an algorithm into a computer and they said, make me a racket that's soft, has power when you need it, has great control. What do you got, right? And they claimed AI, artificial intelligence, said, make the graphite like this, right? And the engineers at Wilson said, whoa, nothing's ever been done like that before. So they tested it and finally said, okay, well, we'll try this. Took it over to China. The guys at China said, we can't do this. It's never been done before. After months, year of tests and trials, they finally came out with a product, right? But it didn't work. Back to the drawing board. Came back out 6 months later with another racket. Then they had something. So they tested it out for probably a year and a half more to make sure this product was right. So it took about 3 years from inception to ready to go. And then after that, they put it in people's hands. I don't know if you saw that commercial. I'm gonna see if I can add it in this video, where they gave it to a lot of the pros. Saw that commercial with Simona Halep practicing. They handed her one of these in the prototype demo, and she hit a few balls and said, "Whoa." So the whole commercial was, "Whoa," meaning that's an interesting racket. That's an interesting feel. Whoa, I like that, right?
Wow. 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 Opa.
So when you strike, if you own one already, you know, when you strike the ball with this racket, if you hit it solidly, it's a nice clean feel, clean solid feel. If you swing it hard, the racket firms up, so it becomes a stiffer racket. If you slow down the swing, the racket will bend and give you control. So depending on how you swing, this racket will flex to what you want. Now, I like this racket because it's kind of a teaching tool for you too. If for those people who are kind of just starting off, little tentative about tennis, if you don't swing, it will kind of punish you. Balls either going to die in the net, or if you hit it flushed and straight through, it's going to go sailing out. So it kind of forces you to swing through the ball in order for the ball to stay in the court. At 10.4 ounces and 10 points head light, this racket comes through pretty quickly. Now, for those of you who are trying to learn top spin or want a lot of top spin, this racket's coming through pretty quickly. So it's easy to impart spin on the ball. The only thing that I've heard from customers that they've had to change is the volley. You know, for those of you who kind of just punches it on the lighter side, it doesn't go anywhere. It kind of dies in the net or becomes like a drop volley. So in order to use this racket, it's kind of like using like a wooden racket back in the day. You kind of have to extend the volley out and finish it off. You have to really punch it and finish with this racket, because you'll be initiating the technology by pushing through it. The other thing is it does have a very unique feel because it's so soft. They say that this racket is as soft as a wooden racket. So people kind of have to get used to that unique feel. But it's a great racket. It's a great all-around racket. I definitely recommend it to anybody who's 4'5" and below, beginners, intermediate. Try it out. You might love it. One of the key ingredients of the racket, because it's so soft, is the stringing aspect of it. Now, Wilson recommends that you use this string, which is Luxilon Smart, and this particular one is the 125. They do make a 130, which is a little thicker, but I would say about 70 to 80% of all the ones we've sold, we've put this string on. So why this string? Pause. So the inside story behind this Smart string is When Wilson was in development of this racket, Luxilon was in development of this string. This string pretty much does what this racket does. The harder you swing, the more this string firms up and reacts. The softer you swing, the more this string gives. Now, the one unique feature about this string is that they recommend that you string it between 44 and 48 pounds. Now, this racket we found plays well at a lower tension. It reacts way better with a lower tension and either a straight polyester string in it or some type of a hybrid with a poly or a natural gut. So it needs a soft string at a lower tension for the racket to react better. Now, when we first got this racket, I tested it out with like synthetic gut, like one of these TNTs at 60 pounds. It didn't work. It deactivated the whole thing. It just felt like a board. Ball didn't go anywhere. I dropped it down to 55, still kind of boardy, got a little more feel and power out of it, but didn't play well. I dropped it down to 50, played better, still not there. When I hit like the 48 realm with the straight synthetic, it got much better, but it doesn't play well with straight synthetic. It just deactivates the whole thing. So if you tried it and you demoed it and you hated it, they probably strung it too tight and probably with straight synthetic. Now, what we found was, for people who just starting, the best combination was like something like a thin polyester like this Luxilon Ace on the main and something like this TNT 16 on the cross at anywhere between 44 and 48 pounds. If you want a little more control, go to 48. You want a little more power? I've seen people drop it down to 35, but it plays way better, low tension. It basically brightens up the whole racket, gives it a nice feel, gives it nice power. So the key to success for this racket is, I'm telling you, it's this string or any of the combination of these at a low tension. All right, so if you tried it, like I said, too tight, didn't work, won't feel good. Try it again, low tension, soft string. I'll bet you will feel night and day. This racket will just be something else, will be more amazing. If you have one, let me know what you string yours at and what type of string. I mean, that's just from my 1 year of selling this racket and my success stories. So let me know.
Buy one of these rackets and you'll be welcome to the dark side of tennis. Thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.